Umagyanatmirandasya Gananganashtakya Chakshurunvitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandaya Radhikaya Tadavaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhakta Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Vandeham Shri Guru Varam Shri Rupanugapravaram Vajradasarasigam Cha Narayanam Tam Prapanam Shri Guru Charanam Vande Ramana Prasthaya Bhutale Rupanugabhaktidam Cha Kripamurti Narayanam Seva Kunja Vijay Ramya Govardhana Giro Sada Radha Kunja Rasananda Daddat Seva Padayanam Gurum Narayanakyamtam Vande Vinoda Prashtakam Yatpara Smiti Matrena Damodara Prasidati Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyavacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaudakshe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikakanta Radha Kanta Namostate Sabda Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Hare Priya Bhaktya Vihina Parara Lakshay Kshiptasya Kamarita Rangamadhye Vipamayi Tvam Saranam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Bhajami Radham Arabindanetram Smarami Radham Madhurasitasya Vadami Radham Karuna Varadram Tato Mamanyasti Gatir Nakati Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I my sister and Lord Pranam, thousand times Lord Sri Paramarajam Guru Pada Padma. Om Vishnu Pada Stotra Jishiman Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Sai Maharaj.Bhagavad. Second level, my sister and Lord Pranam, thousand times Lord Sri Mashri Rupanaga Gauri Guru Bhargam. My sister and Lord Pranam, thousand Guru Vaishnava. Continuing reading from Maharaj.Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, sloka 10. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mam upasrita bhava jnana tapasa kuda madbhavam agataha. Freed from attachment, fear and anger, with their concentration fixed on me, being completely surrendered and purified by tapasya in the form of transcendental jnana, many persons have attained prema bhakti for me. Here Krishna is talking about achieving, the process for achieving prema bhakti. Bhavanuvaga Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. Sri Bhagavan says, "O Arjuna, not only do those with tattva, jnana of my birth and activities who are now present during my current avatar attain me, but even in ancient times, those endowed with this transcendental knowledge of my birth and activities of my previous avatars also attained me." To explain this, the present shloka beginning with the word Vitaraga is being spoken. Jnana tapasa means purified by austerity in the form of jnana. In the opinion of Sri Ramanujacharya, Krishna is saying, this jnana is realization of the absolute knowledge of my birth and activities. People attain me when they have been purified by realizing my birth and activities in terms of the characteristics described earlier. In other words, while trying with determination to realize the eternal nature of my birth and activities, they attain my prema bhakti. By realizing Krishna's birth and activities, then one will achieve this prema bhakti. But it's not enough just to realize, but one has to realize it in the heart, but also have a deep desire for this prem seva. Shantaras Bhaktas, they also have prem, but there's no seva there. Therefore, in some ways it is very like almost neutral, because they have love for the Lord, but they just meditate on it, they just think of Him. They don't actively show it. Whereas in Dasya Bhakti, they are actively showing that love all the time, because they have mamata. So this Dasya Bhakti is actually this is the mood where we should begin. Start serving Guru in the mood of Dasya. We can remember Guru, it's our duty to remember, but also along with remembrance, we want to serve also. Guru Seva, Vaishnava Seva, then Charya Vaishnava Seva, Nishkar Payecha Geva. How do you achieve this prem? Simply always remembering Guru, 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 but you don't do any seva for Guru then. Always remembering Bhagavan, but not serving then. Therefore, this Hanuman, he is described as Premi Bhakti by Sanatana Goswami. He is ideal example of a Premi Bhakta. He has this mood of dasya, this strong service attitude. And you see Ramanuja's however, so these people who, in other words, while trying with determination to realize the eternal nature of my birth and activities, they attain my flame of bhakti. However, they are first purified by the fire of transcendental knowledge and the austerity of tolerating the burning poison of the serpents of attachment, fear and anger. In Sri Ramanujacharya's Bhashya, he cites the Shruti statement, Tasya Dhira Parijananti Yonim. One who is Dhira, intelligent, completely knows the nature of Sri Bhagavan's birth. Mita Raga refers to those who have given up attachment to persons who engage in prajalpa and who advocate bogus opinions. My bhaktas do not become angry with them, nor do they fear them. If one asks why, the answer is that they are intensely involved in and meditating on my birth and activities, and hearing and chanting about them. Maharaj.Bhagavad means prema for me. The devotees, they have no attachment to anyone who is not favorable to their bhajan and bhakti. The devotee's attachment is for Krishna. Even Guru Vaishnava, they have no attachment for anyone. They have love for everybody, but they are not attached to any disciple, any follower, nothing. They are attached only to Radha Krishna Seva. And they engage themselves in that Seva, and then they will engage others also. And they have a loving mood, compassionate, merciful mood for everyone. But their attachment is only for Radha Krishna. So Gurudev said, I am not attached to anyone, nor you nor any of you. I am attached only to Radha Krishna. But he has love for everyone. He is helping everyone also develop that attachment for Radha Krishna. If you become attached to bogus people and bogus opinions, then you will endeavor for those things also. Wherever your attachment is, your mind will wander there, and the desire to cultivate those things will come. So Krishna is saying, my bhaktas, they are never angry nor fear these vishayas. They just always stay away and absorb themselves in forming the Bhagavad Bhajan. Prakashika Vritti by Srila Gurudev. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur quotes Krishna as saying, there are three reasons why foolish people are not inclined to deliberate on the transcendental and supremely pure nature of my birth, activities and form. They are 1, attachment to worldly objects, 2, fear, and 3, anger. This is why people, they don't want to remember Bhagavan, they don't want to do service, chant, for these 3 reasons. 1, they are very attached to their current life, their worldly possessions, their worldly identity, everything. 2, they are fearful of losing that. And 3, they are angry. They have so much anger in their heart. Therefore, they are unable to meditate on Bhagavan. Anger means they have so much worldly desires, so many other desires, that desire has manifested in the form of anger. feel unable to enjoy in that way. The idea, the prospect of not being able to enjoy creates anger. There's so much attached to it. Those whose intelligence is tightly bound by mundane thoughts are so deeply absorbed in and attached to materialism that they do not accept or even consider the existence of eternal entity known as Chit Tattva. They don't realize there is a Chit Tattva, spiritual Tattva, soul, Bhagavan. They cannot even consider the existence of such a thing. It's so foreign to them. According to such persons, Swabha, nature itself, is the absolute truth. In other words, they say, oh, this is science, this material world, this is everything. Everything that is, this is it. We study it and we can have faith in this science. They'll say, oh, you have faith, blind faith in religion. But they have blind faith in science. They don't realize devotees don't have blind faith. Their faith is based on Shraddha, pure faith. Faith that has been awoken in the heart by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. And by that faith, then one is able to realize the absolute truth. Progress on this path. The more you progress, the more you will realize. Even in the beginning stage, there is some realization. Otherwise, there is some realization and some detachment, knowledge, happiness is there. Otherwise, we would not be on this path. The nature of Shraddha. Shraddha will give you these things. That is why we are eager to learn more, progress further. To realize that we are only in the very beginning. There is so much to be realized, so much to be attained. Till we attain the ultimate goal of awakening this Raj Bhakti, then we cannot rest. So we are progressing towards this ultimate goal. Krishna Prem Prayojan. So they're saying that according to such persons, Swabha, nature itself is the absolute truth. Some of them maintain that matter is the eternal cause, and that inert matter is the source of Chit Tattva. The Jadavadis, empiricists, the Swabha-vadis, nature theorists, and the Chaitanya-heen Vidhi-vadis. To advocate Chaitanya-heen Vidhi-vadis means those who have no spiritual consciousness. They advocate that there is no such thing as spirit. There is no such thing as a soul. So the Chaitanya-heen Vidhi-vadis, who advocate a system of ethics which is based on the conception of the Absolute, that the Absolute is unconscious, have no understanding of consciousness. These three classes of philosophers are all impelled by an attachment to materialism and contend that inert matter is the all-in-all, Jadavadis. That nature is a law unto itself, Sabhavadis, and that one can deny the principle of consciousness, Chaitanya-heen Vidhi-vadis. So they are basically pretty much all the same thing. They have faith that there is only matter, there is no spirit. That is there. These are three ways of describing basically the same thing, but a little bit from different. Like I look at a gem, you look at it from one angle, one vision. It's the same object, but it's being described from a different perspective. With a Jadvadi, if he said that matter is all in all, then he understands that this nature has its own laws and everything runs according to the laws of nature. He also accepts that. And Chaitanya-heen Vidhi-vadis, and he also denies the concept of spiritual consciousness. So by being a Jadvadi, automatically you become a Sabha-vadi and a Chaitanya-heen Vidhi-vadi. They're all describing the atheist. He has faith only in what he sees, anti-agnostic. And he does not believe, he believes in only that which he can perceive by his senses only. That which he can understand. He tries to understand everything through his intellect and his mind and senses. So they gradually become bereft of any transcendental attachment to the supreme absolute reality. People who come cultivate these thoughts and they become completely, they lose any kind of like sukriti or any kind of inclination that may be there to inquire about higher subjects. They lose all that. They become gross materialists. And ultimately, they may be moral, they may even have some kind of morality. Ultimately, Maya or custom, they even from moral atheists, they'll become immoral atheists. Ultimately. When they realize that there's no greater cause, happiness is the only goal of life. Then whatever is favorable for their happiness, they'll do that. When push comes to shove, they'll put their happiness first over others. And if necessary, they'll break. Morality is only there. They only accept morality as long as it's conducive for their own happiness. When it's not conducive, then they'll give it up also. They don't care. Like if some war comes or some famine or some drought, they have to save their life and their family's life over somebody else, and they'll throw the other people under the bus. They'll do what they need to survive. They'll throw all their morality out the window. They'll steal, they'll cheat, they'll kill just to survive. So the ultimate destination of such people is that they become inert themselves. They always observe the inert, the five material, the material senses and the material elements. They will gradually become inert themselves. Ultimately, they'll take very low species of birth. Their consciousness will become completely covered. Although some thinkers do accept Chit Tattva, spiritual principles, as eternal, because they reject the principles of transcendental knowledge and perpetually take shelter of mundane logic and reasoning, they can actually have no realization of Chit Tattva. So those who do not hear Harikatha, do not receive transcendental knowledge from the Guru Parampara, they may try to analyze scripture and all these things with their mundane logic intelligence, but they can never attain any kind of realization. So many people, they study scripture and they do seminars and they do so many things to earn money. They analyze the scriptures and they talk about them, this and that. But they're devoid of any realization because they're not connected with someone who is realized. They're just simply shouting in the wind. And everything becomes distorted. When you shout in the wind, it's howling wind, and this carries a sound that becomes distorted. Like if we're speaking now, the mic is, there's no very less distortion in the sound. As I'm speaking, you can hear. But if it's a very strong wind and you shout, someone who is far away, it will distort the sound. So people like this, who have no connection with parampara, they study scriptures. And when they speak on the scriptures, it's like shouting in the wind. Only a distorted resemblance of what the scriptures are saying. And that is all bogus meaning also. They'll speak only what is good for their own happiness. What they feel is favorable for them. Like Prabhupada tells his katha about the Pandit. He's doing Bhagavad Gita, and his wife is always hearing from others how he's glorifying, how he's such a good speaker. So one day she finishes all her work very quickly and she goes in the Bhagavad Gita and sits. That day was Ekadashi and the Pandit husband is speaking on the stage. Speak Ekadashi Gata. Ekadashi this, that, no eating grains, this, so many things he's explaining. And she falls. Wow, he never explained these things to me. Okay. So he goes back and she cleans the kitchen and everything, throws all the grains out, puts away, and she has some little fruit, something, and she's waiting. Then the Pandit comes back and says, give me my food. She said, what food? You said today in the Ekadashi. Huh? When I said? I was there in your class, I came. I heard everything. You said Ekadashi, no grains, all the sins are there, therefore we are following Ekadashi? He said, no, that is not for us, that is for others only. He said, no, you very plain and specific. We're going to follow Ekadashi. Really, you are not going to give me any food? He said, no. And so he took steak and beating too much. So, this is the Pandit, this is the mundane person. They speak, but they don't follow anything. And they'll, whatever is favorable to them, then they'll say, and they'll follow. Very independent. They have no realization. Whatever attributes and activities they see in inert matter, they designate as asat, unreal. Very carefully abandon them. Thus, in the name of identifying that which is uncontaminated by inert matter, they imagine an absolute reality, Brahma, which is beyond definition. So they also, one kind of person who takes shelter of mundane logic and reasoning, is that they analyze the objects and phenomena of this world and they label them as being mundane. And therefore, by negating all the mundane, they try to define, by doing that, they try to get a definition of the absolute. But the neti process, not this, this is imperfect, this has no fault, not this, this cannot be Brahma. And then everything in these books, everything in this world is full of fault. They realize that Brahma is beyond this world. It has no qualities, has no variety, nothing. It has to be devoid of any kind of attributes. They come to this conclusion. But they have no access, no entrance into the spiritual realm. They cannot perceive the variety and the beauty that is there. But by their logic and reasoning, they come to the conclusion that everything in this world is full of faults. It cannot exist there. So what exists there is something that is free from all these things, free from form, free from qualities, free from. But then they define the absolute truth based on their findings here. But this is bad logic, bad understanding. And by this they cheat themselves from any kind of true realization. That state, however, is nothing more than an impersonal aspect of my eternal personality. There's nothing more but an indirect manifestation of my Maya. It is not my eternal form. Later they give up meditating on my Swarup and worshipping my deity form, fearing that by this meditation and way of thinking they may come under the influence of material conceptions. Because of this fear, they lose the opportunity to realize the Swarup of the absolute truth, Param Tattva, and they are deprived of my Prema. There are others who, being unable to discern any substance beyond matter, become possessed by anger. Impelled by such anger, they maintain that the absolute reality is just nirvana, a void nothingness, and the complete annihilation of all existence. Devoid of mercy, devoid of any variety. They come to that conclusion. The doctrine of the Buddhists and Jains have appeared from this principle of nirvana. Everything is zero, meaningless. This is their conclusion. Many wise men, however, do not become free from attachment, fear and anger, and see nothing but myself everywhere. Genuinely surrendered to me, they are purified by the fire of transcendental knowledge, and by the penance of tolerating the burning poison of false reasoning. Thus they have attained pure sublime flame for me. So the sadhak, he may have so many anarthas, but he tolerates and he keeps his eye on the goal and he progresses towards Brahma Bhakti. As he progresses, then the anarthas are all removed gradually. He tolerates the burning poison of the serpents of attachment, fear and anger. You realize that I have to tolerate, this is my karma, I have this body, all these things, I have to tolerate these things. But while tolerating them, I'll keep my eyes on the prize. Keep marching forward, doing my sadhana, doing my bhajan, my Guru Seva. Gradually one day I'll become free from all of these things. Shloka 11. Ye atam mam prapadyante tam staiva bhajamyam. Mam avat manuvartante manushya partha sarvasa. The favorite shloka from Bhagavad Gita. 11. Shloka. O Partha, as all surrender to me and perform my bhajan, I reciprocate accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects. So another translation is that in whichever way a person renders service, I serve him in the same way, in the very same way. According to how you serve Krishna, he will also reciprocate in that way and serve you in back. Everyone is following my path, Krishna says. Bhavanuvar by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. One may ask the following: ultimately everything in this world is created by the Lord. Past karma, jnana, bhakti, all these. Logic, everything is created by the Lord. Even the chance for you to be independent, even you are created by the Lord, and this material world is created by Him, by which you have left Him and come into. Ultimately, this is all Krishna's arrangement. Krishna had arranged all this. Therefore, everyone is following His path. But Krishna wants, what does He ultimately want? He wants you to take that path by which Prema Bhakti will awaken in your heart. But that Prema Bhakti is so relishable. One may ask the following question. This is Bhavanuvar by Vishnu Chakravarti. One may ask the following question: only your ekantik bhaktas understand your birth and activities to be eternal. Others who have an inclination towards jnana and other processes take shelter of you to perfect their particular process, but they do not accept the eternality of your birth and activities. What will happen to them? So devotees, they worship the Lord, His name, form, qualities, passions, everything. But those who have an inclination to jnana, then what will happen to them? They do not accept Bhagavan's form. In response, Shri Krishna speaks this sloka beginning with Ye Yata. Those who take shelter of me perform bhajan, and I reciprocate by granting them the result of that bhajan. I am the Supreme Master, and my birth and activities, past and are eternal. To those with this understanding, who also perform my bhajan, by rendering service to my pastimes with the specific intention of giving pleasure to me, I, as Ishvara, being independent to act or not act as I choose, also make their birth and activities eternal. So Bhagavan is saying that I am the Supreme Lord, my birth activities are eternal. Those who understand this and do my bhajan with the desire to please me, then I am the Supreme, being the Supreme Lord, I am supremely independent, and I will also grant them this status. In other words, they will also become free from this endless cycle of birth and death. They will attain a spiritual form, then their activities will all be spiritual. They will not experience death and mundane birth. Krishna will grant this status to those who follow Him, take shelter of Him. In this way, I bestow my mercy upon them at every moment by giving them prema as the fruit of their bhajan, seva. And then situated in one's spiritual form, one begins to serve the Lord, and ultimately this fruit of prema will manifest. There are others, such as the jnanis, who take shelter of me, considering my janma and karma to be temporary, and my Shri Vigraha deity form to be a product of the external energies. In turn, I repeatedly throw them into the cycle of birth and activities which are subject to destruction. There, in the snare of Maya, I give them misery in the form of birth and death. However, those jnanis who consider my birth and activities to be eternal, and my Vigraha to be Satchidananda, take shelter of me to perfect their jnana. See, there is the jnani and there is the jnani yogi. The jnani, he is impersonalist. The Jnana Yogi, he will take shelter. He may be an impersonalist, but he will still take shelter of Bhagavan. He won't be offensive. He takes shelter of Bhagavan Bhakti to help him perfect his jnana. And that's why he attains the desired goal very quickly. Whereas Mayavadis and these jnanis who want impersonal liberation, if they commit Mayavadis will commit offense, and if the jnanis also commit offense, then they'll not attain any kind of perfection. They'll fall down. They'll enter into very insignificant species. For such mumukshus, means those who desire mukti through the dissolution of their gross and subtle bodies, I destroy their implication in the cycle of birth and death, which is born of ignorance, and grant them brahmananda, the bliss of liberation, as the fruit of their bhajan. So those jnanis who actually accept Bhagavan's Swarup, then Krishna will give them their desire, know that is Brahmananda. Then he will attain Brahman realization. Mayavadis never achieve that, nothing. They are offensive. So the difference between a Mayavadi and a Brahmavadi. Pure Brahmavadi or Jnani, he's not disrespectful, he accepts the existence of the Lord. He's just attracted to the impersonal aspect. Because the Mayavadi denies the form of the Lord and is offensive. He achieves nothing. Thus, not only my bhaktas take shelter of me, but Jnanis, Karamis, Yogis, Tyagis, worshipper of the Devatas, and all others follow my path. Since I am Sarva Sarup, the omnipotent form, all paths, including those of Jnana and Karma, are my paths. Prakashika Vritti by Sri Gurudev. Tam stan kaman harid dadya yanyan kama yate jana. Haradido yatha vaisa tata pumsam phalodaya. Fourth canto of the Bhagavad. It is understood from this sloka that according to the intention by which people worship or take shelter of Bhagavan Sri Hari, he rewards them in accordance with their desires. The Shuddha Bhakta worship him to attain Nitya Seva with Satchidananda Vigraha. Making such Prema Bhaktas his Nitya Parikas, Bhagavan Sri Hari fulfills the desire to attain his Prema Seva, loving service. In accordance with the desire of the Nirvishesvadi Jnanis, Bhagavan grants them with mukti in the form of nirvana, in the featureless Nirvishes Brahma, which is the unvariegated manifestation of his personality. Bhagavan, that is, the Nirvishesvadi Jnanis. Then Bhagavan appears to Sakam Karamis as the bestower of the fruits of their karma. He appears to the yogi as Ishvara, giving them vibhuti, mystic power of Kaivalya Mukti. That person who gives you Jod Dete Dan, wo Hamara Ram. Prabhupada says, who gives donation? He is my Ram, he is my worshipful Lord. That who is giving you, then they become your object of respect and your favorite. So like Hiranyakashipu, when he did austerities, then Brahma came, sprinkled water on him, gave him a new body. And Hiranyakashipu gave so many stutis, glorifying Brahma. Oh, you are the Lord, you are the Creator, you are this, you are that, you are my Lord. Why are you giving him benediction then? Oh, you are now my everything. Someone giving you a lot of money, supporting you, then then you will become like the servant. Even if they are doing something wrong, then you look the other way. Not tell them anything. Why? They are supporting you. Like all these politicians and corrupted people. They are getting sponsored by their money is being provided from others. That's how they're in the office. Then they cannot protest, they cannot make any independent decision. Whatever they are told to do, they have to do. Even if some bogus law, bogus regulation, start a war in another country, they're all passed to do, they'll sign no problem. Why? They're being fed, maintained by others. Then whatever they say, they have to do. So this is the nature of such people. So he was giving so Bhagavan, he gives people who are intelligent, who they'll approach Bhagavan for their fulfillment of their desires, instead of the demigods. Then Bhagavan will bestow them liberation. They understand, why should I pray to the demigods when I can pray to Narayan himself? He is the Lord of all the demigods. If Ganesh or Shiva can give me a son and a house and a fridge, then what to speak of Narayan, what he cannot give me? So they approach Narayan and they beg for these things. And Narayan, he sends them directly to Vaikuntha. 5 kinds of mukti. One is impersonal mukti. In Salokya, you get a planet like the Lord. Samipya, you get to live very near the Lord. Shasti, you get opulence like the Lord. And Swarup, you get a form like the Lord. As you desire, you go to Vaikuntha, you can enjoy that. So in this way, Krishna is fulfilling everyone's desires in some way or another. Even the demigods, they are empowered by the Lord to fulfill the desire of others. Without the Lord's will, not even a blade of grass can move. However, of all various achievements, attaining the service of Vrindavan and Sri Krishna in Golok Braj is the ultimate achievement. It should be clearly understood from the present shloka of Bhagavad Gita that the results of different types of bhajan depend on the desires of the practitioners. But this ultimate, this Braj Bhakti, Krishna will not give that easy. He will give you everything else, mukti, he will test you. When he sees that you are so determined that you don't want anything else but bhakti, then finally in the end, he will give you that bhakti, prema bhakti. But he is not willing to give that. Why? Because if he gives prema bhakti, then Krishna will come under control. This is the only means to control Krishna is through prema. So Krishna will not give that to you easily because he will come under your control. He wants to see really you have love for him or not. Really you desire nothing else but him. Then Krishna will allow. Then Krishna will engage in loving service to you. Then this yeyatam mam prapatante tamsataiva vidamyam. Then that reciprocation will be there. Otherwise, Krishna will reciprocate with you through many other means, through his demigods, through the Antaryami, Paramatma. Many ways he will reciprocate with you. But directly you want to reciprocation of Krishna, Saranga Sharanagati Hoega Jaha Tahara Pratanashana Nanda Kumar. First develop Sharanagati, surrender. Then that's the beginning stage. Then Krishna will hear your prayers. Before that, just Antaryami is hearing your prayers. Chaitya Guru. But Krishna and Vrindavan, Nanda Kumar, he will not directly hear. He is too busy enjoying, performing his sweet pastimes there, serving the Brajvasis. There's no time for your mundane things. When you develop this mood of self-surrender, then Krishna becomes interested. Oh, he surrendered completely. Okay. Because this is the foundation, this is the gateway to enter into Shuddha Bhakti by which we attain Prema. Then Krishna realizes now he has some seriousness. Okay, now he's showing that he really wants. Then Krishna is there. You catch his attention by this Sharanagati. Should be clearly understood from the present sloka of Bhagavad Gita that the results of different types of bhajan depend on the desires of the practitioners. The results of various types of worship are not the same. Some explain the words Manusya Parta Sarva Shaha to mean that everyone is following the path of service to Bhagavan. Whatever action they may perform, they will all attain the same result. This conception is completely illusory. It's called Yata Mata Tata Pata. We have discussed this before. Whatever all roads lead to Rome. All same. The Roman Empire was so vast, in the center of the Europe. So ultimately they said all roads will lead here. So ultimately people say all paths ultimately will take you to Bhagavan. It's not true. You live a life of prostitution, then how you will go to Bhagavan? You go to hell. You are acting like a pig in this world, doing all nonsense, you become a pig in your next life. Do all nonsense activities, you will get nonsense destination. When you do bhakti, then you can achieve Bhagavan. Here is an example. Like I said, if I want to go to Delhi, I can go by flight, I can go by train, I can go by bicycle, I can walk by watch car, by truck, by bus, by anyhow. I can roll myself to Delhi by life. Anyway, I like so many paths I can go. So any path I want, I'll go to Bhagavan. Okay, yeah, you want? But I want to see you walk to Australia. Let's see how you're going to walk to Australia. Oh, some problem came. What problem? Oh, the ocean is in between. How is your walking now going on? Very difficult, right? Now you have to swim. And swimming is not possible because you will not have the energy to swim. There's so many sharks and storms and things will come and you have no water, no food, you're going to die. Actually, you'll never make it to Australia by walking. Is that the reality? Yes, okay. But that is the reality. You cannot achieve Bhagavan by sitting in your home and speculating and smoking ganja and drinking alcohol and typing big things on the internet. This is not going to make you qualified to achieve Bhagavan. All paths do not lead to Bhagavan. Every path will lead to every action has its reaction. You're responsible for your actions. You do sinful activities, you go to hell. You do pious activities, you go to heaven. You do devotion, you will attain Bhagavan. Later in the Gita, so many slokas smashing this conception will come. So this conception is completely illusory. The idea that miscreants, the Jnanis and Bhaktas and the Premi Bhaktas ultimately achieve the exact same destination has been refuted in Sastra, such as Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. That because if you say that, then there's no difference between a Premi Bhakta and a Prema Bhakta and a prostitute. If they both achieve Bhagavan, then why do the sadhana to achieve Prema then? Why can achieve Krishna Prema by doing nonsense? No. Gita to 925. Yanti deva vrata devam pitri yanti pitri vrata. Bhutani yanti bhutejam yanti manjajinobhiyam. Even in this material world, there is no example like that, really. You follow certain processes, they lead to then you achieve certain goals, certain results. Not everything is the same. Therefore, there are so many different departments in government, so many different departments in school, sciences, fields of knowledge. And all those fields of knowledge and activities, they're all separate from each other. They lead to different results. Not that you can enter into school, because you all enter into the one school, you're all going to come out the same. This is like Mayavad, Brahmavad philosophy. Those who worship the Devas go to the planet of the Devas. Those who worship the forefathers go to their planet. Those who worship the spirits go to the planet of the spirits. And those who worship me attain me. So very clearly Krishna is saying, according to how you worship, you will go there. Srila Bhakti Thakur quotes Krishna as follows. When people accept my shelter by worshipping me, I reciprocate with whatever intention of faith they have in relation to me. Everyone can certainly attain me because I am the ultimate objective of all paths. Those who are Shuddha Bhaktas attain Paramananda, transcendental bliss, by eternally rendering confidential Nitya Seva to my Satchidananda Vigraha in the supreme abode. To the worshippers of my featureless aspect, Nirvishaya Vadis, I award Nirvana Mukti, total absorption in the Nirvishaya Brahma, by way of self-annihilation. Since they do not accept the eternality of my Satchidananda Vigraha, they consequently lose their eternal blissful Sarup. According to their degree of conviction, I cast some of them into the cycle of birth and death. I appear as Shunya, void to the Shunyavadis, merging their existence into the void. I cover the Atma consciousness, Acharya Chetana, of the empiricists, as well as the worshippers of nature, who identify themselves as being born of nature, by making their consciousness almost inert. Their consciousness like that, therefore they eat meat and do all kinds of things. They have no idea. They think I am of these mundane elements, these are mundane elements, there is no soul. In some dharmas, then they so attached to eating meat, and they say, yeah, soul is in the human but not in the animals. Therefore, but so here it's saying their consciousness becomes almost inert. I only appear to them in different forms of nature. I appear as Ishvara to the yogis, rewarding them with vibhutis, mystic power or kaivalya mukti. In this way, as Sarva Sarup, the omnipotent form, I am the object of achievement of all types of beliefs. Among them, only attainment of my seva should be considered supreme. All human beings follow one of my various paths. So Krishna created all these paths, therefore all his, and ultimately, even if you follow the path of materialism, you will suffer, I will punish you, then you will begin to, it will lead you to the point of inquiry of a higher existence. Then you will turn your face towards Krishna. Sometimes someone has to suffer, come to a very low point before he can. It's like if you are falling, you fall off from a high place. The only way you can get back is that you hit the ground, hit the bottom. Once you hit the bottom, then you can pick yourself up, then you can climb back up. While you are falling, there is no climbing back up, you are falling. So sometimes it's necessary for you to fall to hit the bottom, hit the rock bottom. Once you hit the rock bottom, then you wake up and you realize, oh, where am I, what am I doing? Then you again begin to climb up and progress. Krishna sometimes will arrange that fall for the devotee. They help them realize, create some humility in them. Then with a humble mood and attitude, realizing I am full of faults, I am very insignificant, then I am in need of mercy, then I need of this help, then the jiva will begin to slowly progress again. Sloka 12. Kamshanta karmanam siddhim yajanta hi devataha Shipram hi manusya loge siddhin bhavati karmagya. Those who desire the fruits of their activities in this world worship the devatas. Thus the results of their fruitive work are quickly achieved. Bhavanuvar. Among all such persons with whom I reciprocate, those desiring material success give up the path of my bhakti, which is none different from me, and follow the path of karma, which quickly bears fruit. Karma is very quick fruit. You do a little work, then you get the fruit of your action, you enjoy it. Like you want enjoy something, some nice drink or food or anything, so you need little money. How will you get that little money? Okay, go do some work, labor one day, work 6-8 hours, get the money, buy the food and drink, eat. Now you retain the fruit. Very quick. But Prema Bhakti is not like that. can go to some supermarket and purchase it in peanuts. You have to do some sadhana, some hard endeavor. Please, Guru and Vaishnava. Krishna will have to notice, see your endeavor. Then his heart will melt, then the mercy will come. So it's like, that which is very valuable there is not available everywhere. In every corner in Vrindavan they are selling potatoes and eggplant and cauliflower. You go there, you can buy this sabji anywhere. But you want to find diamond, then where do you? No, you cannot find diamond on the street corner here and there. Put on the cart and they're pushing diamond. No. You have to go Delhi, Agra, Mathura, some place where the diamond merchant is there. You have to pay a lot of money. And you have to, so much consideration, deliberation. You have to check all the certificates, the shop is certified, the diamond is certified, everything. Then you will buy it. So much hard work there. Prema is, that which is valuable is not to be achieved so easily. That which is very easy, that is called sahaj. The sahajiyas, they call sahajiyas. Because they make that prema bhakti very cheap and easy. They give you siddha pranali. Oh, you met there, you are now gopi. You are now this manjari, that manjari, laddu manjari, rasgulla manjari. You are gopi, not gopi. Gopi is different thing. They have become gopi. In Bengali, gu means what? Gu means like when you pass through, it's called gu. Gopi. They are actually become worse than stool. They are ahangro pasana. You become the object of your worship is like Mayavad. I am Lalita, I am Vishaka, I am this man. No. You want to worship the gopi, serve them, not become a gopi. You want to become the servant of the servant of the servant. Radhikas, make servants. You want to achieve that position. You don't want to be on that point of claiming myself, I am this. If that mentality comes, then you have a stool-like mentality. You are a big enjoyer. You want to take Bhagavan's position, the gopi's position. So to explain this point, Sri Bhagavan speaks this sloka beginning with Kamsantaha. The word karma gyan means born of karma and refers to perfections such as the attainment of Swarga. Tomorrow we will continue hearing further Gurudev's Prakash. Gaur Brahmananda Hari Hari Vam Jai Shri Guru Parabrahma Ki Jai Guru Parampara Ki Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai Saparsada Gaur Hari Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Keshav Vrat Ki Jai Vrat Pal Kari Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Srimad.Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Par Ki Jai Nandavadi Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Samavadi Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Brahmananda Hari Hari Vam